Welcome to Podcrushed. I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Sophie Ansari and Nava Kavlin, who are now my co-authors.
Yes.
Not only my co-authors, my best-selling co-authors.
Pow, pow, pow.
That's right. Read it and weep.
Yeah.
Read them and weep. Actually, I think
All the
that
doubters.
is presumably that is mostly what happens. There's a lot of weeping. There is some laughing.
Yeah.
But we wrote a little weepy, didn't we?
We did.
We did.
This is the book, Crushmore. If you haven't had a chance to get it, pick one up now. Available pretty much wherever you buy your books. And, I have been creeping a little bit on the Goodreads and the Amazon reviews, and they're pretty encouraging. So hopefully you'll like it too.
I mean, I think we shouldn't just say they're pretty encouraging. We should just say they're on fire. They're hot. They're good.
Stellar.
Everybody loves this book. What more do we need to say? It's a bestseller. Did I mention that we're best-selling co-authors?
Yeah. Ben, what was it like to do press with two normies?
It was a little stilted and awkward, frankly. I think I'm better on my own.
You're like, someone call in Elizabeth and Victoria. Get rid of these two.
They clearly have no media training.
Yeah.
Actually, I find media training to be. First of all, I've never had media training, but I find people who are media trained to be. It's like a professional athletes, particularly European soccer players, when they're like, well, it's all about the game, and it's all about the teammates, and the ball, and it's about the ball, it's about the game. You're like, okay.
And I learned nothing.
Yeah.
No, I have to say that it was a different experience than usual because. This will sound like a backhanded compliment, but it is interesting. It's true. It was the first time I'd done press for something in a while that didn't have this kind of like guaranteed success apparatus behind it. You know what I mean? When you're on one of the top Netflix shows, you kind of know that Netflix is gonna place that thing where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Or whatever the thing might be. These giant corporations, they know what they're doing. And although Simon & Schuster is, of course, a big publisher, I do feel like it's different. Us writing a book and it succeeding is not the most obvious thing.
No.
It's a ragtag team.
It's maybe a little random, a little strange and unlikely. So that was different. And I think so many things about it. I mean, I did not see being an author so much on my bingo card for this year, as they say. Or a best-selling author. And honestly, doing it alongside you two, I think it was just the perfect way. I would have never done this on my own, but I'm actually really glad that I've done it, and I'm really proud to be right there alongside you. I'm really proud of everything that we wrote, and so it was like very, very deeply meaningful while also being wholesome.
Love that.
All right, enough about me. Today we have this is a good one. This is a bit of a powerhouse one. We have Sam Smith, singer, songwriter, the powerhouse voice behind hits like Stay With Me, Too Good at Goodbyes, Unholy. I mean, there's many, many, many more, but we don't have time to list them. Sam has become one of the defining artists of the past decade, and I was reminded of that listening to their catalog. I was really, really impressed and excited preparing for this interview. Sam immediately just opened up, a delightful human being. I'm really glad this is one of our relatively few episodes where I get to be in person. Unfortunately, Nava and Sophie, we kept them in the dark. We kept them far, far away, but they also left their indelible, inimitable, invaluable. That means it's not valuable, right? They're invaluable contributions to the interview space. No, they really did. Guys, I loved this one. I really, really loved talking to Sam.
It was special.
I know you two feel the same way. This is in support of their residency here in Brooklyn. So if you're not in Brooklyn, sorry, but it's a pretty special time for this artist blossoming. You'll hear all about it in our interview. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss it. Welcome to Podcrushed. We're your hosts. I'm Penn.
I'm Nava.
And I'm Sophie. And I think we would have been your middle school besties.
Squirreling away sausage rolls into your fanny pack. When fanny packs were not cool. Sam Smith, thank you for being here. As I shared with you a moment ago, if you're ready to go there, we start at 12 years old. And to give, you know, when we can, we like to give a little special color to our standard question of a snapshot of you at 12. You have spoken about this concept for you, this place for you, a pink house, right? Pink house in the woods, and how different spaces, you've spoken about like dance floors, et cetera, different spaces shape who you are. So we're curious, what are the different places and forces shaping Sam at 12?
Well, at 12, I was in my pink house. Have you heard of Mr. Blobby?
Mr.
No.
Mr. Blobby.
No, what is that?
I used to call it the Mr. Blobby house. He was a kid's cartoon in the UK.
Okay.
It's very scary, actually, if you Google it. But it's this man in a large pink suit, and it had yellow polka dot spots.
Okay.
And as a kid, I moved into this house, and it's always been kind of this dream house. I'd call it the Mr. Blobby house because it was this beautiful pastel pink house. And my mum had saved up her whole life, really, to get a house like this. And then it had little yellow spots of moss on it. And so I called it the Mr. Blobby house. And it was such a dream. It was an incredible house, and just so many informative moments and memories there. So at 12, I was there with my 2 younger sisters, who would have been 6 and 7 at the time. And I was just, at 12 years old, it was like I was in secondary school. And secondary school was brutal, especially those years for me. It was a Catholic school in England, and it was just, it was, when I think back to 12, I just think about like the discomfort of being in school at that time. It was, I was so gay. And that was always my thing. Is I was never in it, and there was no closets in my life.
There's no question.
There's no closets. I was just so obviously gay, and everyone knew before I did. So so secondary school was just, those first few years were crazy because everyone was just calling me gay the whole time.
I'm sorry to laugh because just the way, because obviously you have like lived through it and accepted so much. So I'm laughing for you.
You can laugh because I was a funny kid. I was like, I was popular.
Okay.
I was
great.
I was really chubby and round and pink.
Were you tall? Yeah.
I was tall.
You were okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I was really chubby and round, and I just was just addicted to sausage rolls.
Who isn't? Sounds great.
And I was just singing left, right, and center, just singing the whole time.
It sounds pretty obvious.
It was very obvious. It was very obvious. But I was very dramatic. I was very sensitive. But I had loads of girlfriends all the time. Like I had no problems making friends. I had loads of girlfriends around me. I was all the girls' best gay friend.
What was the year then? Was it like 2000? You're young, so it was like 2002, something like that.
Must have been maybe 2005.
Oh, that's right.
Around
Because
then,
you were born in
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but that's like that's late in the game, and thinking culturally.
Yeah, I mean, I came out when I was actually 10 years old to my best friend who was a girl in primary school, and then kind of kept it a secret with her for a few years. And then in school, it was just like, went in school thinking I was going to keep this secret, but everyone was just like, gay boy.
Again, I'm laughing for you and with
no,
you.
it's okay.
My God.
It's okay.
That's hard.
It was hard.
Yeah, was there a period of difficulty maybe before that? Like,
no.
Okay,
it was
that's
in
cool.
I have beautiful memories of primary school where I was kind of accepted to be whatever I wanted to be, and being young and queer, it was kind of nurtured all the way up until I'd say around the age of 11 and 12, which is when you just started to just be exposed to boys in school that just were so angry. Obviously, from shit that they were going through at home. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, you can. Sam, I've heard you talk about this on your own podcast, The Pink House. By the way, everyone should listen. It's a beautiful, like such a welcoming podcast.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you talked about how at that time when it was really challenging, you would listen to Always Be My Baby on your podcast again and again. On your iPod. I love that song. It's such a good song. But I'm curious, what was it about Mariah or that song or music in general that felt like a safe space for you?
I mean, as like all of my friends were women, my sisters, I had two sisters. My mum was the breadwinner in our family. So my mum would go to work every day. She was a banker in the city. And my dad was a house husband. And my dad is very soft and sensitive and quite effeminate. So I was just surrounded by feminine, soft, beautiful energy my whole life. So when it came to music, just the power in the storytelling from the divas, and not just the divas, like, you know, even I was obsessed with Winehouse and Corinne Bailey Rae and Lily Allen and just all female artists from a young age. And to the point where I just didn't listen to men at all, probably to the age of like 19. I just didn't listen to male singers. I had an absolute block when it came to male voices and kind of male comedians, just anything. I was just obsessed with women. I think that when I look back at that now, I think that there's such a strength to those female voices. You know, they were going through so much, and I think that it matched with what I was going through, because I had a hard childhood of being queer and being so loud and effeminate and too big, always just too much the whole time. And so that's why I think that I really just bonded with the divas in my life and those experiences, because they were larger than life people.
It's true that you really don't have, I've thought of this many times before, and there isn't the equivalent of a pop diva for a man. I don't think there is, right? I can't think of one.
Well, there is me. I'm joking.
I was going to say,
No, I'm joking. No, I'm joking. Do you mean a pop diva for a man as in, like, as in like a man that's a pop diva?
Yeah.
Well, I think the closest for me growing up was George Michael.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was George Michael, and I'd even say like Stevie Wonder.
Actually, yes, that's
Elton
so.
John.
You go a bit.
Elton John's a diva.
That's true. I mean, Prince and Michael. So they're, but
Prince,
it's a bit.
Michael,
It's a bit
like there's many, but in terms of like queer femme divas, and it's something that I've learned a lot. Actually, there's an incredible artist. You may know them. They're know her. Her name's Anoni.
Yeah.
Anoni, and
so powerful. I mean,
the most powerful.
I've actually not listened as much since the like formal transition of the name and stuff, but I mean, previous works are
previously known as Anthony Johnson's.
One of the most incredible live shows I've ever.
Me too. The greatest. I went to see them live and recently, and I've actually when I moved to New York, we started to have tea parties together. I don't think they wouldn't mind me sharing this.
I feel the vibe. I did meet Anoni before, and that makes a lot of sense.
They're incredible, and she sat me down and she schooled me a little bit, and it's something that I needed. And you know,
can I ask when this was?
It's been over the last year.
Oh, great!
And I've just had a bit of educating because, you know, I'm part of a very small lineage of queer femme, trans non-binary musicians and voices from the UK. And if you think about the generations, it's me, and then before me is Anoni, and then before Anoni is Boy George.
Yeah, right.
And I'd never really understood that. And weirdly, I had this synergy with, as a kid, I watched documentaries on Boy George, and it was always so insanely close to my life. And then now as I've got older, I've started to realize, like, oh gosh, like, that they are my mothers. They are my lineage in what I do as an artist. And it's it's very interesting thing. I could talk about.
That's
it
actually
so
really
much,
cool.
but
So we will get into the sort of the maturation and the evolution of you as an artist, because I do really like that, and I do have a lot of questions once we get into your career and your work. So let's think about all those formative times where, you know, the seeds of what's now blossoming.
Yeah.
You know, were being planted. So it sounds like you had a lot of support at home.
Crazy amount of support,
which is beautiful because not everybody has that, especially with the orientation you have, the sort of identity you have. That's really great. I'm curious. So it sounds like your father set the bar very high for you.
Yeah, I think with there was almost two me's at home. Like there was me as the child that was growing up, and a non-binary queer child growing up and trying to find my place in the world in that way. But then there's also the singing me, which is something that was a superpower and a burden from a very young age. I started singing when people first started hearing me sing when I was like 10. I sang around a friend's house once. And then
they were like,
well, the mum of a friend was like, what?
Yeah.
And then they had me singing a duet with the girl that I came out to, Beth, who was amazing, who I still know now, and she's just the best. And so we would sing together. So at school, like talent shows, or we went to like holiday camps together as kids, and would like sing for sweet tokens and stuff. So we'd sing together. And that's how I started to get heard by my school and stuff. And my parents would hear me singing in the car. But from a very young age, it was just like...
Clear. Yeah.
Well, clear to everyone else.
Yeah.
Not to me. I was always, and still to this day, I find it hard because I don't hear what people hear.
Wow. I'm curious what you mean by that. You said it was a superpower, but also a burden. What do you mean by that?
When I sing, people stop and listen. From a young age, it happened. And that was something that felt quite powerful, even as a young child. It was nice, but it was a burden because I am petrified to sing in front of people. I find it really, really hard.
Still.
Really? Yeah, like I find it really hard.
Really?
Yeah, I find it's. I had a panic attack on stage when I was 26, which was kind of the peak of
recently.
everything. Yeah, I mean, it changed my life. It was in South Africa, and I froze on stage and couldn't sing for a year after that. And I didn't tell anyone publicly, which I'm happy I didn't, so I could work my way back to performing again.
Yeah, then there wasn't like a headline.
But still to this day, I'm just like shitting myself.
Wow.
The whole time.
I have to say, I mean, so as a performer, I feel a little bit silly calling myself one in your presence, but I am. So hey, you don't like to sing, so okay. So
you're incredible.
Thank you. So
John Tucker Star is my favorite movie ever.
Really?
Yeah, ever.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. I think that might make three of us, not one of them.
That film.
That's interesting to hear. Okay.
Well, Sam, I have a question about a different kind of performance. In your premiere episode, you talk about the dance floor as like a place of freedom in this like wild city. And I was curious what your relationship to dance has been throughout your life.
Oh, just always loved dancing, even from the age of 12, like being a kid, just dancing all the time. I used to actually like get into like my mum's clothes and lock my door in my bedroom, and I just like dance in my mum's clothes to like pop music and all the pop divas the whole time. It's actually how I got my exercise as a child. Yeah.
That's perfect.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah. I think you had mentioned somewhere that as a kid you used to look in the mirror when you were crying, like you'd watch yourself, and
Oh my God.
I used to do the same thing, and I have some thoughts about why I did that, about like, as a youngest child, just like wanting to be witnessed when lots of people in the family were not. I just kind of was taken along for the ride and wasn't seen a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what you think it was for you. What was that about?
Me and my friend used to call them mirror montages by ourselves. Which
You're so cute.
I don't know what it was. As a kid, I was just fascinated at seeing myself cry. You've just made sense of it for me by saying that. I think that I was so strong as a child, like coming out at such an early age. And when people would tease me in school, I wasn't like, I'd be like, I'd give them hell in the playground, and I'd have.
I love that.
And I have these amazing girlfriends that would jump in front of me and fight the guys, and like, and I'd be sent out of class for fighting back. I was a loudmouth and didn't go down without a fight. So the kind of the sadness that I had to deal with later on in my life that was happening inside. I think that it came out by myself, and what you just said is so true. I don't think anyone got to see me cry in that way, so maybe I was intrigued by how it looked.
All right, I just discovered this. It's a pretty unique drink. I'm a little obsessed. It's called Pretty Tasty tea. So it's like a collagen iced tea in these little packets, and I think it's kind of genius. So there's 10 grams of collagen, there's 10 grams of protein, and there is 0 sugar. Like me, no sweetness whatsoever. Just kidding. There is some in there, but it's not cane sugar. It tastes good. Like it's not fake sweet or like chalky. It's clean and it's refreshing and it's tea. So there's no artificial flavors, no dyes. It's just a delicious drink that I can feel good about. It has collagen. Some I've heard a lot about. I've had it in fits and starts. They say it's good for your skin. The truth is I do have good skin, but what I can tell is when I drink it, I feel good. And knowing that it's having this effect, that it strengthens my hair and my skin. The truth is I'm nearing the end of my 30s, going to be 40 very soon. I do need this. And I have 8 million children. That's I have 4 children, 4 boys, 2 newborn twins. So I am having to think about how I take care of myself. And this feels like it's really doing something for me. It's a win-win. It's good for me, and I like it. Seriously, skincare has never tasted so good. I'm pretty sure. I don't usually eat my skincare products, but in this case I do. You can try Pretty Tasty for free. Just go to prettytasty.com, pick your flavor, peach, raspberry, lemon, or black tea, and use code PODCRUSHED. That's a whole case over $40 value for free, because your glow deserves a taste test. The folks at Ollie know how special your relationship is with your dog. While your kids may grow up and head off to school, your dog stays right by your side, just peeing right on your ankles, you know? He's waiting for that next walk, wants that belly scratch or mealtime. Frankly, they just have needs that don't end. Am I right? I want the absolute best for my dog. As much as I might make jokes about I resent his neediness, the truth is he's a lovely, lovely little guy. And I got to tell you, he recently went through a bout of sickness where there was a little bit of concern. He's getting older. And I was reminded just how sweet he is. One thing that has given me real confidence going through his bout was that I've switched to Ollie food. And this is no lie here. He eats Ollie and only Ollie. He's extremely picky. He's hardly eaten any other foods before for very long. He keeps coming back. I think it's probably because Ollie offers fresh protein-packed meals that are made with real human-grade ingredients. I have not tried it, but I don't need to. I can tell. My dog's personal favorite, I think, I mean, of course he hasn't told me, but from what I can tell, I think he loves the beef with sweet potatoes. Maybe the turkey with cranberries is a close second. He also loves the lamb. He loves the chicken. I gotta say, he kind of loves them all, which is so rare for him. I mean, it's actually, I think, the only food that he's ever consistently come back for more than a period of like, you know, a month or two. He's a husky. He's extremely, he's got this like this idiosyncratic personality. He's like just controlled chaos. He's got too much intelligence and personality, too much judgment, too particular of a palate. And yet, no lie, he loves Ollie. And I love Ollie just as much because they make it easy for mealtime. Each meal is perfectly portioned and comes in mess-free packaging. There's even a scoop for easy serving and a storage container so any extra doesn't stink up your fridge. Your dog's well-being starts with their food. And that's why Ollie delivers fresh, human-grade food that your dog will love. Head to ollie.com/podcrushed, tell them all about your dog, and use code PODCRUSHED to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box, so if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/podcrushed and enter code PODCRUSHED to get 60% off your first box. Something that's just striking me, meeting you before we started the interview, you said you're an open book, and I find that to be very true. And so I guess I'm just wondering, like, Of course, all people struggle, and it's so clear, like you're in touch with your struggles, which is how you communicate as an artist. It's part of why you have a voice, that mysterious thing. So, but I guess I'm just really interested in, you're talking about feeling so just like uncomfortable all the time. I'm curious, what, if you can name a thing or a few things, what do you think it was?
For me, it was always my weight.
Okay.
My queerness was something that I could handle and I could have a grasp on it, but it was my weight as a kid was the hardest thing for me in school, and weirdly the thing I probably got teased the most about.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I've spoken about it before, and I get misquoted all the time on this stuff. But I had surgery on my chest when I was 13 years old.
Wow.
And because I had like a growing chest.
Right.
And there was, all sorts of reasons why, but mainly I was just getting so teased. I couldn't like go swimming in school, and I couldn't like getting changed in the locker room was hell. So I got liposuction when I was 13 years old. And
what was it like convincing your parents?
They were supportive. They were hugely supportive of the whole thing because they just saw how much it was crippling everything about me. But honestly, it was just all a struggle with food and stuff. And the liposuction it worked, but it was also a nightmare because they gave me a bandage,
Which is like a bra.
but I was only meant to wear it for a month. But if I wore the bandage, it meant that I would get to the front of the lunch queue. Because everyone had to be sensitive about my chest, so I just kept this bandage on for nearly a year.
So this
and I'd be like, oh, don't come close to me, and then I'd just get first to lunch queue, and I'd eat more and eat more and eat more, and so the surgery never really worked,
Right?
Because I just love food.
Yeah.
I think that actually beautifully captures this interesting, I don't want to say contradiction, but we're all many things. Like that beautifully captures something of what you're saying is like this thing that made you painfully insecure. You were also like, hey, check this out. I'm going to skip the line.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
I made lemonade out of the situation.
Yeah.
I'd say my weight is what made me feel uncomfortable in school. And just, as I said before, I was always just too much. It's something I still deal with now in my relationship I'm in now. It's just, I'm a lot. I just naturally, just even me being quiet is a lot.
Sure.
And so it's and that's hard. And I think that's down to the way I speak, to what I wear, all these things. It's just like so I for many years at the beginning of my career, which all of you knew me from at the beginning of my career, that was me trying to
toning it down,
but enjoying the doors that were opening because I was toning it down. It was fabulous.
It's like, I'm going to tone it down. Let's get 17 people behind me singing. It's amazing that that's you toning it down.
I heard you have a conversation with Ocean Vuong on your podcast, and in it you said that we could all kind of benefit from bringing parts of ourselves from when we were children into our adult lives, which I really loved. And I'm curious, if you think back to your child self, what would you benefit from bringing into your present?
It's a great question.
Thank you. I wrote it myself.
From I just loved when I was in primary school, like from the age of like 3 to 10 years old, I just didn't compare myself to anyone. That's what I just didn't look left and right at anyone. And I didn't have a lot of jealousy when I was young. So I think that's something now that I'm just really trying to master that so much. It's hard to master.
That's a wise answer. That sounds really nice.
Yeah, not looking left and right.
Yeah. Sam, I was thinking about when you were sharing just a moment ago about like feeling like being too much. I think I've shared this before, but I think the best piece of advice I've ever gotten was from a friend named Isaac. And it was like at a time where I just kept being really interested in men who wanted like really meek women. And I'm not a meek woman. And so I would feel like, I'm too much. So I had like opened up to him about it, and he said, just find someone who likes the default version of you. Like that's what you should look for. Don't try to change the person that you are.
Yeah.
And that's something that I still like sit with. And when I start to feel that way, like, oh, I'm too loud, I'm too outspoken, I'll just be like, it's okay. Like there's someone who likes that in a woman. There's like
100%.
people who like that. Yeah.
My boyfriend says something so beautiful. Said there's a lid for every pot. And I think it's such a nice saying, and there is. You don't have to change. And all my relationships before the person I'm with now, it was just I just didn't like myself enough to, and that reflected in the relationship. And so after my first ever proper relationship, I took 5 years being single, and in those 5 years, I did so much work on myself through therapy and just with all like body stuff and analyzing my mental health, and just I've done so much work over the years, and so now I go into the relationship, and everything he brings is an addition to what I already have and that I have built, which is a beautiful life without a lover, you know?
Yeah, that's beautiful, Sam.
We ask all our guests about their first experiences with love and heartbreak. You're talking about your experiences now as an adult, but what was it like for you as a 12-year-old, if you were having any of those feelings, or whenever you did have those feelings?
All of my first experiences, which I think a lot of queer people can relate to, well, maybe they can, I don't know. I mean, queer people of my generation, now young gay kids, and they're able to have partners in school and go through those things. For me, it was all make-believe in my head. It was wild. I would fall in love with these straight guys in school, and I would be around my friends' houses, and I'd just daydream the whole time about this one guy, and then I would claim that I was in love with the guy who he was probably like the lead in a show that we were doing, because I had to do all these pantomimes and fucking I did so many shows as a kid, it was exhausting. And so I probably like had a nice friendship with the guy that I was in love with, but I fell in love with the guys. There's this one guy actually he was the brother of my best friend, and
Beth's brother?
No, this is another friend called Mabel. It was my friend called Mabel, and she was my best friend, and I fell in love with her brother, and I would see him all the time because I was always around Mabel's house, and I actually became really close to him. It actually got to the point where I wrote him a letter telling him how much I was in love with him. And
did you give it to him?
And I gave it to him.
Wow. How old are we talking?
I was probably 14.
Okay.
That's courageous.
Was he gracious? Was he gracious about it?
He was incredible. Aww. He wrote me a full letter back.
What?
Yeah. And told me how much he loved me.
Oh,
so
I know.
These are great stories.
Isn't it beautiful? And it was such an amazing thing. So like, even in those desperately lonely moments, there was still love being experienced. I still felt a little bit worthy.
That feels to me like it actually warms my heart. Like to know, and that actually sounds like the evolution of culture in a certain way, where it's like you are not describing the typical experience of total isolation, you know, and like suffering in the closet, as people have described generations past. You know what I mean?
My parents were so accepting as me coming out, but parents nowadays won't just be happy or accept that their child is out. They'll also go and seek information. They'll go and listen to podcasts, listen to maybe this podcast. They'll go and read some books, watch some queer movies, stuff like that. My parents didn't do that. And so I think it's important now that it's just accepting someone as being out as gay is the first step. But there is a history that is important to listen to and learn, so that you as a parent understand the community that your child's about to walk into. Because the gay community that I walked into, for me, in the UK, when it came to queerness, especially femme queens, is different,
Just because of the way you're talking about parenting, I'm curious if you thought about it. Don't have to answer if you don't want to. Have you ever thought about kids?
I want kids immediately.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready right now. I'm ready right now. I've always wanted children. I'm excited. Sometimes I hang out with my friends' kids and I have the best time, and then like 7 hours into it, I'm like, get me out of this. So I'm just I'm scared about being tired.
Well, yeah, trust me, that's
but when
part
they're
of
your
it.
own,
But
it's different, right?
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it is.
Right.
Well, I mean, look, I have waiting for me when I get home, and they're roundabout texting me right now, being like, "Yeah, what's yeah, when they're yours, you can't. Even though it's hard, you can't imagine life without them. You know, you really can't. It's interesting.
I'm ready for it now. I want kids, and we've got 2 tortoises, fish, and 2 dogs. In the house.
You're just collecting the animals until you can have
getting ready.
All right. So before we officially go into all career things, as much as we have time for, another classic question we ask. You've actually, I think we've got so many good stories, but we do ask, is there a particularly embarrassing moment? You know, a particularly cringe-inducing memory from this time?
There is. I don't think I've ever said this either. Maybe I have on my podcast, but your podcast reaches way more people. So this is actually the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me. And then 3 years ago, it became my champion story. And now I look at it differently and I'm like, actually, this was the making of me.
Great.
I said I was scared of performing.
Yeah. Which I still don't understand, and I want to talk about that more. But yeah,
I'm petrified. But this would show you just how petrified. I'm 11 or 12. I just started secondary school. So it's an intense environment for me with all the boys knowing that I'm gay and all this stuff. I start singing in music class, and this teacher just kind of like grabs onto me. He's like, you have to perform at this annual evening at the show for the school. It's called Shades of Autumn. It was every autumn, and it was all the kids would be like, kids would go up. You'd be chosen by teachers, and you go up and you read a poem. You can play piano, or you can sing, or you can, just showcase some sort of art. And it was only a select few of kids that would do it. And I said yes. I was so scared that I was sitting waiting to perform, and I was wearing these khaki pants, and I was so scared that I pissed myself. I pissed myself. It was horrendous.
In khakis.
I pissed myself in khakis, so it was just piss everywhere. And then I was like next in line to go up and perform. And I can't believe it, but I walked up on stage. I stood on stage and I said to the audience that I just spilt water all over myself. So excuse this. And then I stood there and I sang Heroes by Mariah Carey.
Good for you. Amazing.
That's incredible.
And then there was a picture of me in the music block covered in piss for the whole of my time I was in school. And no one knew except my best friends.
This is your origin story.
It was. And then recently when I've been trying to attack my kind of nerves on stage, my therapist is like, look at that moment. Like you still went on stage and did it. You can do this. You have the courage to do this. It's in you. So that's my embarrassing story.
As we head into the cozy season where the days are shorter and the nights are colder, I love taking the opportunity to slow down and do something that's just for me, which is rare as a mom. So it's really important that I do it. I figured, why not get a head start on this year's New Year's resolution with Rosetta Stone? Learning a new language from the comfort of my home, in my PJs, my favorite thing to wear. It sounds like a win-win to me, honestly. Rosetta Stone is the trusted leader in language learning for over 30 years. Their immersive, intuitive methods help you naturally absorb and retain a new language from your computer or your phone whenever it fits your schedule. I have been running into a lot of Spanish speakers recently. I mean, I was running into a lot of Spanish speakers in LA, and now I'm in Texas, and I'm still running into a lot of Spanish speakers. And I always, people kind of expect me to speak Spanish sometimes. I get that quite a bit, like, did your mom speak to you in Spanish? People aren't quite sure if I'm Latina or not. And so it is really my goal to be able to just like seamlessly answer, yeah, I speak Spanish, and to have it be the most normal thing in the world. There's nothing I want more than that, honestly. It's on the top of my priority list. The issue for me with having the courage to speak in a language that I'm learning is feeling like I don't have the accent down. And so not feeling confident enough to just like go with it. That's why I love this feature on Rosetta Stone called True Accent. It's a speech recognition feature that provides real-time feedback on your accent. That's always been the hardest part of learning a new language. I feel like it's tricky to just like nail it. You think you've got it, but you actually don't. And so I love that about Rosetta Stone. Don't wait. Unlock your language learning potential now. Podcrushed listeners can grab Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off. That's unlimited access to 25 language courses for life. Visit rosettastone.com/podcrushed to get started and claim your 50% off today. Don't miss out. Go to rosettastone.com/podcrushed and start learning today.
You were always singing. And as you said, people would stop and listen. But when did it go from being like, I'm the one who can sing at my school to, this is a path. This is like, it's hard to say at such an age, like a career, but you know what I mean? Like when does it become that?
For me, it was at like 12.
Yeah.
So I was always getting parts in shows and stuff from the age of 12. The problem was I was so queer that there was never a part for me in any shows.
Right.
I was always in the chorus, or I'd have like a random solo in shows because I could never be like a lead or a character because they're always straight guys in plays and musicals. So I there was never parts for me in things. But for me at the age of 12, I was kind of being like groomed to become a musical theatre singer. So at 13, I remember having like panic attacks with my mum about what musical theatre schools I'd be auditioning for at 15 years old and all this stuff.
Wow.
And I was doing like 4 or 5 shows a year after school, singing lessons, musical theatre singing lessons, trying to learn instruments, just like really, really a lot of work. And then when I there's a musical theatre school in London called Sylvia Plath's. And they had
I think we've had somebody else who went
Not
there.
Sylvia Plath's. That's
No,
a poet.
that's
it's Sylvia Young's.
Sylvia, okay.
I was going to say.
No, but we had the
I don't know
Sylvia
anyone
is
who's been to Sylvia Plath.
It's Sylvia. But it was musical theatre school that I went to on a Saturday, and the singing teacher there basically heard my voice and put me into a recording studio, and I basically got a record deal when I was 15.
Really?
Wow.
With a record company that they signed me, my mum signed for me because I was a minor, and they had artists on their catalogue that had written loads of music, and they had me singing the music in the studio. And it was a situation that was actually in some ways helpful, and I learned how to be in a recording studio, but it all became really nasty, and to this day they still sell music of my voice from when I was a kid. It's all on iTunes and stuff, and they sell things and put things online of me when I was 15, which is really strange.
That is strange.
Yeah, but at 15 years old, I basically decided, I had this chat with my mum. I was like, I don't know, do I do musical theatre or do I try and be a pop star at 15 years old?
That's amazing.
And then me and my mum decided together that I was going to try and be a pop star. And so then from the age of 15, it's all I thought about. And it wasn't necessarily about being a pop star. It was being a singer-songwriter. I decided that I didn't want to do musical theatre. I wasn't an actor. It wasn't a life that I wanted. I love the idea of, gigging and writing songs about my life and traveling around the world. And that's so I decided to do that at 15.
When did the influence of like soul, dance hall, like R&B really come in to play? Because I feel like that was, it's there on your first record, but then it of course develops more over the course of your career. And then also like, I'm curious about the interplay between like gospel and R&B and your experience at a Catholic school and the church, and the fact that later you would sing and record Gloria like in your childhood church. Is that true? So I'm just wondering about, I'm triangulating around a question I don't know how to ask, but you know what I mean? Like,
I think something people need to understand about my music is that my music is just as non-binary as me. It's not, I'm not one thing. I'm a flow person.
Yeah.
I flow and I can't stand still. It's just it's just how I'm built.
but for instance, the thing that it's not that I don't hear it as though it's missing, because that's not at all, but like because of the way you describe yourself, I'm not surprised, but like I don't hear musical theater in your music. But I mean that in a good way as a person
I think
who,
if you hear my voice on some of my first, on Latch,
okay,
Disclosure,
right.
and some of my first, on my album, there's still musical theater in there. I'm very pronounced.
I guess, you know what, that's true. And that's true. And I have a bias against musical theater because I started a musical theater myself.
Yeah.
And I had to sing, what's the Aladdin song? I Can Show You the World, or what's it called? I had to sing that.
World.
A Whole New World,
Yeah.
that's right. Oh my God. I had to sing that so many times. And it just, there's something I probably need to look at with my therapist.
You find musical theater as a trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
So do I. I struggle with musical theater now too.
Right. And so the bias I have is that we've actually had people on who come from musical theater and they're so good. I mean, Ariana's actually one of them. But you know, to me, you just sound like somebody who knew themselves musically from like the jump, at least on your first record and everything after, you know what I mean? So I'm curious.
No matter how much musical theater I did in my teens, the queen of our household when it came to music, the voice that I remember growing up listening to and was always somehow there, was Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
And then it was always Aretha or Shaka Khan or Whitney Houston or Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
They were just these pillars of voices that my parents were obsessed with. Like when I first started doing gigs when I was probably 13 years old. I'd do gigs in pubs. And my dad would come with like an amplifier and a microphone, and I would sing to these backing tracks. Then my dad would train me to singing to backing tracks every night after school. He would cook the dinner, and I would stand after school and do like an hour to 2 hours of singing to backing tracks. And my dad would kind of ignore me until I got something right, and then he'd sit and listen. It was quite wild.
What was he doing that intentionally? Was he intentionally training you?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, now I know that he was, and he's now finally let go of it. Now he can come to my shows, and he came to my show the other day, and he can now actually
You were
enjoy
flat
it.
on the bridge of...
He did it the beginning of my career. He would give me this honest feedback, but now he enjoys it, and it's fine. But he really worked my voice as a singer, and my dad loves jazz music, so he really was, the first things I was singing was Frank Sinatra songs, and then my mum loved this Stevie Wonder song that my mum loved called Overjoyed, I think, and so she'd have me sing that the whole time. So
is that early Stevie? Because I know Stevie Wonder's...
That was from Songs in the Key of Life, I think, that song. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Overjoyed.
Is it Overjoyed?
Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe
Do you know
I've got it wrong. It's something over.
No,
something.
I feel like I can hear it in my head.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing it, but
But I would be singing those classics the whole time.
Yeah. I'm curious about some thematic things. Sorry to keep quoting your podcast, but it's really good. You talked about, I think it was in a conversation with Rebecca Sugar, which also I was like so delighted that you brought them on. Rebecca's amazing. But you talked about when you were young, your grandma showed you Pete's Dragon and like how influential that was. And then it kind of blossomed into this love of lighthouses. And then you mentioned a recurring theme in your music, which is calling lovers back to safety, which I thought was so gorgeous. Then I went back and listened to a lot of your music with that in mind, and it's definitely present. So I have two questions. One is, if you could just share a little bit more about that, sort of what it means to you to call lovers back to safety in your music thematically. But then also you've shared that you're recently in love for the first time. And I want to know what it feels like for you. What does it mean to have a lover call you back to safety?
That's very sweet. Well, first of all, I lighthouses, sirens, all that. My grandma grew up in a place called Whitley Bay in northern England, which is a beautiful coastal town. There's an incredible lighthouse there. So I think, and she also introduced me to Pete's Dragon, and I think that's where that obsession has come from. it's also just from, as I said, from being in love with so many straight guys and growing up through my teens, and I felt like I don't know, I just felt like eternally lonely.
Yeah.
And there's something about a lighthouse that has that, but it's also such a warm place of safety too. So I think I related to that so deeply, and I still do to this day. It's there's an amazing song from Pete's Dragon called "Candle on the Water," which is the most amazing song. So, and I wrote a song called "Lighthouse Keeper," which is my favorite song I've ever written in my life.
Wow.
Which is all kind of about that stuff. So it's about a longing, and it's also, I guess, it's about my voice as well. Weirdly, it's like I have this thing that creates, some people want to listen to it. So I guess it's about trying to, through my life, trying to come to terms with stepping into that power. I hate saying the word gift, but it's like something that I've had to face recently. Like it's to like what I do and to like my job and to not feel so scared. I think I have to think about it in that way a little bit more. But I'm English, and we find it hard to like look at ourselves in that way.
It's actually a great point. That I mean, so it's funny because my wife is English, but she moved here when she was 12.
Oh wow!
So she very expressly does not have that British.
Been kicked out of her.
Yeah, like no, she's a very. I mean, I think my co-host can corroborate. She's like she's so not English in that one respect.
Yeah.
A lot of her family members are.
Did she move here to New York?
Yeah, when she was 12.
That will do it. It's like even
Formative
just being in the
time.
last year and a half, it's like wow, it really shakes you up. It's like but it's great. You start. It's a skin that I'm all my family from England, so I'm always there still. But I'm enjoying the change.
So you strike me though as somebody who, like in your debut record, you strike me as, which I don't think you find a lot in pop music or music. You just or ever really. You arrive to my ear, somewhat fully formed. Now I know that of course, that's not true for anybody, and I know it's not true for you, because there's of course growth that I can hear on the rest of the records. But I guess I'm curious. What was the experience like of finally making that record? Like you were what, like 19 to 21 or something? And I'm just curious, you're finally doing what it might feel like you were born to do. You're also like really afraid of performing, or maybe afraid is not the right word, but you have these conflicting feelings about performing. So I'm just really interested in that formative time.
It was just so exciting. I want to answer your question, by the way, about Christian at some point, so I'll come back to it. That first album was just so exciting. That's all I can say is like I had jobs as well as doing all the musical theatre stuff and everything. I worked in like a newsagent's, like a corner store, from the age of 15. And then when I left school at 17, and I immediately started working in a bar in London. And so for about 4 years, I was working in a bar. I used to clean the toilets in this bar. It was the worst job in the world. And like clean all the glasses, and like it was in the city of London. So it was like the financial district of London. So I'd work these horrible hours to like 4 a.m. in this bar. And so I felt like I'd been working nonstop since I was like 12, doing school, all these theatre performances, recording albums, being signed. I had like 6 managers by the time I was like 19.
Wow.
And then all these jobs, trying to get money and trying to move to London and stuff. So I was, by the time when I got my record deal and like when that all kind of came to fruition, it was just like, I was just so desperate to sing for a living. And to not have to work so hard, and so I just really ran with it. That whole album process, I was being put in sessions with all different writers, like 4 or 5 sessions a week with different people. So writing 5 to 6 songs a week for a couple of years, and And it was a wild time. It was very orchestrated by the label. It was a very commercial experience, that commercial music pop writing experience continued up until right now in my life. It was I really gave myself to pop music, fully and full-heartedly.
Well, and what's so impressive about that too is that I think with like a lesser artist, the forces of commercial pop I think they obviously threaten to sanitize something. They threaten to bring out the best, I think. When you're like the best of all art, I think often is when you're being mindful of all of those, like the tension between commercial and critical to oversimplify it. You know what I mean? It's like, because you're actually figuring out how to truly make something that is like masterful, but like open and appealing. There's nothing wrong with that. When you can do it, pop music is actually the most incredible music. Like, for instance, I still marvel at some of Michael Jackson's like biggest hits. Yeah. It's like, this is weird.
Yeah, it's wild.
This is weird music.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure. But it's so open-hearted.
Yeah.
It's, Quincy and the whole thing is just incredible. Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
He was the greatest at that.
Definitely. So I had a question there somewhere. There was a question that we sort of interrupted of Nava's. What was that?
Oh, yeah. Tell us the end of that.
Just being in love now.
Oh, yes.
It is an incredible feeling. And I feel like, talking about lighthouses, it is wild to have someone who is that home for me now. It's incredible. And I moved to New York to be with him, and when we met, I was living in England. I had a fabulous life in England. I was living in a big, beautiful house, and I had space.
And then you move here.
It's a 5-floor walk up. In my rental, no fucking Wi-Fi, and no aircon when it's 38 degrees. In my flat recently, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, but it's been an actually incredibly humbling experience. I'm in love.
You're
so
clearly
it's
in
okay.
love.
Yeah, I am. But I've enjoyed it so much, and I feel free in New York. And New York comes with the package of my partner, because he weirdly, this is a weird story. So he's lived in New York for 10 years. We're similar age, and when I met him, I was here in New York visiting, and I met him for a date. And on the date, he told me that he grew up 10 minutes from my house, that I grew up in the countryside of England.
English.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like down the street from me. So that whole time
That's
when I was
wild.
like a lonely gay kid,
The lid to your pot was just right down the
the
street.
lid to my pot was down the street.
That's
Isn't that
That is
crazy?
amazing.
So sweet.
It's wild.
I think we're all supporting characters in your story. That is a great
Isn't that
story.
wild?
Yeah.
Is that wild?
Wow.
So we have all the same obsessions, experiences.
Wow.
And so it's really, really beautiful.
What makes you said New York is part of the deal with him? If he's British, why is New York such a big part of his life?
Well, he's a fashion designer, and he came here. He started making clothes for Lady Gaga when he was like 22 or 23, straight out of fashion school.
Wow, it's amazing.
In the UK, it's incredible. And he moved here and started his brand when he was like 23, and he's lived here ever since. And he's so deeply inspired by New York, and his fashion is all about New York. And so he thrives in the madness and the chaos of this city. And so I've got to experience New York through his eyes, which has been absolutely incredible. I still need to get out every 2 weeks. I run for the hills.
Totally.
Yeah.
And go
Respite.
upstate, because sometimes I need to like hug a tree.
No, that's definitely it's definitely true. I was actually my mom visits somewhat regularly now, coming from upstate where we own a home, and she brings our car down and then drives back out. And the other night I was loading her bags into my car, which she was going to drive out. And I just had this feeling like, oh my God, I wish I was, like, I just had this memory of being like, I could be getting in this car and driving out of the city, which once you have that ability, you're like, oh my God, it's so much here.
Yeah.
It's so, it's like you can't live without it. And it is hard to live
It's
with
a lot
it.
for your nervous system.
It is.
Yeah.
Do you know what the key is to New York for me?
What?
Baths.
Wait, like a bath at home?
A bath. If you can soak your body, I think that your body
Interesting.
gets so tense from the noise and
Yeah,
makes
the literal
sense.
noise.
yeah.
and
So you're
then-
like you're heightened, and so I think if you can have, I sometimes have 2 baths a day if I can. If I can get one in the afternoon or in the morning, and then at nighttime, definitely at nighttime. Have a bath if you have one, or even just hot showers, great.
Yeah,
but just
yeah.
like calming the body down physically is it has to become part of your ritual in New York.
No, you're right. You're right.
I had a question for you about water because I played your song "To Be Free" for my husband last night. We were both dying over it. It is, my husband's a musician. He's played music all his life, drums and piano mostly. And he was like, "This is the best song I've heard in a long, long time." He
thank
loved
you.
it. And
Thank you so much.
there's a line in it. I mean, the whole thing is very moving, but there's a line where you say, "To be free like the river," and it made me think. I think I feel freest in the water, and then also the water also has some memories for me that are the exact opposite. When I think about like swimming when I was a kid, like you talked about feeling like insecure about your body, but generally the overall sense is like a sense of freedom. And I was curious if you had any memories or moments to do with water that are connected to that for you.
First of all, I want to say that question is my favorite question I think I've ever been asked.
Let's not rate them. I mean, I
mean
think
it. I'm
we-
not just saying that because, like, that I could talk about this all day. I'm obsessed with water in many ways. I grew up near a river in England. There's a little river on the street that I was born on. So I was always by rivers. But people don't know this about me. I am an incredible underwater swimmer.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like a seal.
Can you hold your breath
underwater.
for a long time?
I can hold my breath for a long
Yeah.
time because I sing.
Wow.
But I can weave and like swim incredibly
interesting.
underwater.
Amazing.
That's
Do you
amazing.
like to do that in natural bodies of
Yeah,
water?
my favorite thing to do is wild swim.
Yeah, I actually have to say.
I travel around the world
best.
touring, and
Do you really?
and I jump into wild
Like,
water everywhere I go.
Oh man.
From like
That's amazing,
Norway
Sam.
to freezing, and then in like all in the Caribbean, like
That's
in
really
Australia.
interesting.
Like I seek out wild water swimming,
Oh, it's the best.
and I'm good in cold water. I can stay in
You're
for
like a
a long time.
selkie.
I am. I'm like
You're a mythical creature.
I'm a Celtic
Yeah.
soul.
Actually, when you were describing Lighthouse earlier, there's a gorgeous children's film by Cartoon Saloon who like they make a they win like Academy Awards now. They make like really incredible children's films, but it's an Irish production company, and the first one I think is called Song of the Sea, and it's like a lighthouse is central to it.
I'm gonna
and
watch
it's
that.
like and it's a selkie. It's beautiful. So the first time I saw it was with my now 16-year-old, but when he was 6, we watched it, and now that we have a 5-year-old, we just watched it with him for the first time, and it's like really moving.
Yeah,
and there's something about what
I would
you're
love to
saying.
watch that.
So
I'll
wait,
remember that.
so you
But water is everything.
do you? I wonder if because I have had. I think there's a real difference between scuba diving, which I don't know if you've done, or like that free swimming that you're talking about. Do you have a preference?
Free swimming for me
Yeah,
is more
it
my
is.
vibe.
Yeah.
But for me, water has become not something that I just physically love. It's become I was like diagnosed with, when I had this panic attack, right, in South Africa on stage, it was the first time I was ever not able to do my job because of my anxiety. So I had to go back home and I had to have therapy and figure out how to overcome this. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to sing on stage again. And so I got diagnosed in the UK through therapy with OCD. Had started on medications to help me with that and all of that stuff for, I'd say 3-4 years. And I never got past it. I just felt like I was living with an illness, and I was, and I never could. I wasn't mastering it, and so then I tried a different route of therapy with a different therapist, and I stopped all my medications, and I basically started to describe myself instead of saying I have OCD. And by the way, this is like anyone who maybe listened to this who has OCD, ignore me. Because you have to we all have our own brains and chemistry, and we all have to do our own thing. So you have to seek that out. But for me, I came off my medications, and instead of saying I had OCD, I've started to describe myself as a flow person. that I am very much like water in terms of my my gender expression, my music tastes, the way that my body fluctuates. My mental health is just like water. My mental health is always moving up and down. So now when I'm feeling anxious and if I'm getting a wave of anxiety or panic attacks and things like that, I think of it all as weather. Things that will
I
just
love that.
Yeah.
flow
Beautiful.
past you at some point.
Yeah.
And as long as you hold on to the things and just and don't resist too much and move with the weather and let it come through you. So water has become this symbol that is so linked to my body and even in the way I dress. Like I'm not a happy person if my wardrobe just has one type of thing. I need some days I want to wear a beautiful long skirt. Some days I want to just wear a t-shirt and some jeans. And I've lent into this flow water state into every single element of my life. And it's made me an incredibly happy person and someone who can finally manage my mental health and my issues. So water is just the act of flow in life and letting go and allowing yourself to change and grow. It's such a powerful thing if you can master
It's
it.
really beautiful.
Can we talk a bit about the your growth from record to record? I want to respect your time, so we won't go into the nitty gritties. But I guess you really know how to open and close a record. I think I've noticed, and you kind of like arrive on the scene doing that from your first. You have. I really love Money on My Mind. Okay. So, no. I had a feeling you would. So I did. So just shout out to Ariana. I kind of did this with her, and Shut Up. She was like, "Why are you bringing up Shut Up?" And it's like I heard something that probably I would bet your fans have a real soft spot in their hearts for it. And
that's why I'll never diss my music because like it's like looking back at bad outfits, but I don't think I've ever mastered an album, by the way. When you say I open and close an album, I love my records. I think they're great collectives of songs of the times and for the things that I was trying to achieve when it came to pop music and being a queer voice in pop music. It felt exciting for the albums I've made. But I don't think I've mastered, right, actually, until I've made a record now, and it's the first time that I actually think I've mastered a proper like cohesive body.
Are you talking
music.
about Gloria or are you talking about something else?
The record I've made now. And it's like up until that point, my albums that I love those records, but they are I've had to, for me to make what I've just made, I've had to look at everything and start and better myself.
Yeah, well, going back to what you were saying before about how up until now you were in this incredibly pop commercial sort of apparatus, right? And what I was remarking on and really do still feel like I just want to reiterate, I understand why I can understand why you would feel that way about your songs, and in particular the one I mentioned. But I actually think that you have so much capacity that it's amazing that song is good. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's really good because you are taking the pop forces and you're doing something like. I just think it's really impressive.
Well,
I just think it's because you're saying something incredibly authentic. Because you're saying, because by the way, for anybody who hasn't heard it, the whole point is that money is not on your mind. But you've called it money on my. And anyway, I just think it's a really infectious hook, just that like the swerve you have on it. Because it's the same swerve you have in Unholy too. It's the same like there's this thing you do with your voice that you don't do on all of your songs. It's like this kind of like it's clever. It's cheeky. It's like I guess what I'm saying is like. To me, only the greats really rise above the forces of pop music. Because pop music otherwise, because it's got so much money behind it, it will anesthetize. And it can still be great. Yeah. There's so many good pop artists. But I think ultimately it's hard to be yourself. And that's what I feel like I see you on a journey towards being able to do, which only the greats can do. Only the greats can be themselves in pop music. Yeah. You know? And this is as a person who, like, pop is, I listen to the greats. I don't really listen to a lot of other pop music. You know what I mean? That's just my
I think that for people, the one thing that I think people are misunderstood about my music, and I don't read critics anymore or anything about my music because it's unhealthy. But the thing that is misunderstood is to understand the type of music I make. You have to understand the context, and you have to understand the nuances, and you have to understand that like what I was telling you about my childhood, about being a young queer kid, and the voices and the things that I listened to. You have to understand that to understand my music. My music has always been compared to a straight person's exposure to pop music, which is very different to a young queer person's exposure to pop music. So what people may find cheesy about my music, what people may find simplistic about my music, actually, if you look at it in a different lens, could actually be taken as quite radical.
Yeah.
And so it's like me leaning into those pop things, and you have to understand where I would go out drinking at 23. You know, I didn't have this luxury of like going to these cool bars, listen to Radiohead. It didn't happen for me. Like it wasn't like that for me. Like
I totally know.
For me to meet men and to have gay experiences, I had to go to gay bars, which had sticky floors. A lot of them had awful drinks, and they were playing like intense pop music that wouldn't be classed as like great music to many critics, you know. And so I believe that my music is radically centric.
That's interesting, yeah.
And I enjoy that about what I do. I think it's important actually for me to be, that's me being authentic. I'm not trying to make a buck off you when I'm writing this music. I'm not sitting there trying to think of what's commercially going to turn people on. This is what I like.
Yeah.
That is what I listen to. But I also at the same time do now listen to beautiful quality music and amazing albums, and I'm trying to deepen my sound, but I think it will never be enough for a certain audience, honestly. And this whole record I've been making recently is I've made it with 5 people in a room. I've produced it myself with them. I've pushed everything as credibly as I can to be free as the beginnings of that. The music I've made now, I've pushed so deeply, and even after doing that, and even sitting here with what I believe is my best body of work, it's only going to be truly understood when you take time to understand me and where I actually come from, and don't compare me to straight artists and to artists that have had different life experiences and exposures to music than I have. And that's what I ask of people, you know, if they have the time.
For that reason, is the song Him any kind of marker in your...
Yeah, that was a beautiful moment for me, that song. It was, you know, my first album, I said he on the album a few times, but...
It is ambiguous.
It was ambiguous, but it was meant to be ambiguous.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I came out at such a young age that there was this whole media thing when I first brought out my first album that I was trying to hide my sexuality, and it wasn't true. I wasn't. I was trying to appeal to a wide audience because, you know, why is it that when I'm a kid I listen to Stevie Wonder singing songs about women, and listen to all these female artists singing about straight heterosexual relationships, and I can relate to them. But still, to this day, when someone knows something is gay, they find it hard to relate to. They think it's not about them. And so that first album was my first chance to get my voice heard in the world. So it was important for me to reach everyone and make sure that everyone, especially the women in my life, could relate to that music, you know? So I made sure that there was a neutralness to that first album. But then after getting stick for it, I was like, well, I have no problem saying Him. So I wrote the song Him, and I love that song. And and now the album I've just written obviously is mainly, you know, been so inspired by my relationship right now. And it's, you know, 5 albums in, finally I can actually sing love songs from a real place and from a reciprocated place, which is beautiful.
I wish we could talk to you about it having heard it, but...
Yeah. Well, Sam, let's
Send a
talk about
link.
your
I don't know.
residency. So your residency is called To Be Free. It's in Brooklyn. It's in these like intimate spaces. Sort of tell us about the thinking about that. And then anything you do want to share about your album, we are receptive.
Well, the residencies are these, after all these years of performing in these big rooms, I it was always incredible. And when I had that panic moment in South Africa when I was 26, I then, made sure I worked back up to arenas. And then I did the whole of my Gloria tour last year, which was incredible. Also exhausting, like getting into a thong every night and singing in a thong every night when you're tired and fat and shattered.
And still terrified of performing.
And still terrified. I'm telling you, you don't realize how hard it is. Like, I had my best friend come on tour with me last time to basically just push me on stage.
Right.
But once I got through the last tour, which was actually really powerful, I felt like my last tour on my last album was really about autonomy. It was about putting a hand in front of myself and saying, I am going to do what I want to do in my life. And that's what comes first. And so I really felt like I regained some strength from that tour. And after the tour, I just missed that, like those first gigs when I was 22, when I first came to America, were in these rooms that were built for music. And I got to just really look at the audience's eyes. And that is where I like connection and fire and magic is created for me as a musician, is in those rooms that are built for music, where people, they come and they arrive and they're there to listen and to experience something in an intimate space. So I just wanted to get back to that. And I had no idea that these shows would do what they've done. The last 2 weeks have just been insane. I haven't, the first time I performed in those rooms, there wasn't a lot of queer people in those spaces actually when I was 20 years old. And then over the years in the arenas, my audience got bigger. So I lost perspective of who was coming to my shows. And now I'm doing these shows in New York and I'm looking at the crowd and it's just so diverse. There's just so many different people who are there and who feel connected to me and want to hear me. And it's just it's making me fall in love with my work again.
That's beautiful.
And I'm just so happy that we've done it. Yeah. So that's great. And the new music that I've been making it's just been the best. Just me, 5-6 friends, all just singing, and they're all smacking wood in a studio. And
amazing.
It's the whole album. There's no auto tune. There's minimal electronic music. There's a few drum machines that we've used, but actually in the room, and
that's cool.
And creating these things together from a really organic space, and it's been wild.
Can I ask where you've been recording?
I've been recording in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Yeah, and this in Prospect Heights.
Yeah.
And amazing little studio.
Can't wait to hear it.
I know the guy who
Shazad.
Shazad, yeah.
You know Shazad.
Yeah,
Everyone knows Shazad. I love it. He's actually been on producing, not like on the record, playing on the record, writing on the record with me.
That's amazing.
He's a gift.
He is a gift. This is somebody who walks around in like incredible dress and will play. He walks around with like a nylon string classical guitar and will just sort of play in a way that makes sense for the moment. And I remember we were walking getting coffee one day. I don't know him well, but I know people who know him well. And I feel like, and I've just remembered as you were saying that anyway.
He's amazing.
Incredible.
What a mystical, magical person.
He's the wizard of Brooklyn, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what
the wizard of Prospect Heights.
That's exactly what he feels like. Well, Sam, it's been such a joy to have you on.
Thank you.
We do close with one final question. If you could go back to 12-year-old Sam, what would you say or do, if anything?
Oh, what would I say or do? Oh, I would, I think I would just give them the biggest hug in the world.
That's great.
I really would just give, I just needed a hug. I got great hugs at home, but I needed a big old hug as a kid because it was exhausting. I just had my fists up the whole time. So
you know what? That's actually, when you say that, it's sweet because at my newborns, when they're nursing, they just they don't know what's going on a lot of times. But so when they're having, and because they're twins, they are never getting their needs met at all times, unlike a lot of newborns. So when they're nursing, they just kind of have their fists up like this. They're just kind of
little fighter.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I would just say that there's some people that will never change. And there's some things you can't control. I think that's something was so confusing as being out so young is that I just didn't understand why people didn't like me, or that was something that was definitely going to change, that people were going to come around. And I took it upon myself a lot of the time to try and break people's homophobia, I think, a lot of the time as a kid. And I think that I became a perfectionist in that sense of just wanting everyone to like me. So I would say I would say to try and stay away from perfection like that.
Sam, it was so
much, Sam.
wonderful to meet
Thank
you.
you. It's lovely to meet you too.
Such an
Thank you so
honor.
much. Thank you.
You can check out Sam Smith's new residency, To Be Free, in Brooklyn at Warsaw from October through December. And you can follow Sam Smith online at Sam Smith. Podcrushed is hosted by Penn Badgley, Nava Kaplan, and Sophie Ansari. Our senior producer is David Ansari, and our editing is done by Clips Agency. Special thanks to the folks at Lemonada. And as always, you can listen to Podcrushed ad-free on Amazon Music with your Prime membership. Okay, that's all. Bye.